Hey guys, my name is Selef, in this game probably Shelef, right? This first video I'm gonna record is a beginner's guide, okay? It's probably gonna be a little extensive for a beginner's guide, but I'm gonna go through the beginning of the game, so everything that is important when starting, and there will be no spoilers, okay, for any kind of mid to end game content in this video. The next one will be a more in-depth guide with everything up to the end game, okay? So, a new game from zero. Oh yeah, sorry, let me go back a second, because this is important, okay? This game, options are actually a big deal, okay? First things first. Gameplay options. I will turn off flashing effects, character dungeon animations, and camera bob just for like photo sensitivity, photo stimuli in general, okay? But you can leave those on if you prefer that way. The important thing here is see bonus stat ranges. This is kinda useful for some things, but the thing that matters here actually is this can be good, but it's not necessary. This, for people that are really beginners, is a decent thing, but it mostly just, gets in the way later. Now this is the thing I'm wanna talk about here. People usually don't even pay attention to this, but this is very, very, very important, okay? Random means that your characters are gonna use their skills randomly on the enemies. Lowest life means they are all gonna focus the weakest enemy first. Highest life is not correctly coded, I think, because highest life should make all of your characters focus the enemy that has the most maximum life, so the strongest enemy, right? But that's not what it does. What it does is they focus the enemy that has currently the most health. So they will hit an enemy, and when that enemy is like half health, they will change to another enemy because now that other enemy has more like current health than that one. So this is kind of not working properly. Lowest life is obviously, even if this worked, lowest life is obviously the best option, because if all of your characters focus the same weak enemy first, they will diminish, they will dwindle the number of enemies you are fighting against, right? So it's less enemies hitting you back while you kill them. So this is the most efficient to survive and the most efficient to do well early in the game. Later in the game, though, this becomes better in some ways because it makes you spread your debuffs between enemies better. But that's a very specific thing. This is definitely the best option in the beginning. So we can start a new game. Now, here is the first thing. Default settings is the proper way, let's say, to play this, right? Easiest settings. This is already very easy, okay? This game is easy by default. Easiest settings, I don't see any reason to play like this. Hardest settings, I'm not gonna do this because I'm not a masochist, okay? Having a quarter of all resources and all XP gain doesn't really make this game harder, it just makes it take longer. Because you will get to the same places and the game is going to... Let's say I do this, okay? For example, let's say I do this. The game is just gonna take longer, like way longer. This last one here, actually no. This last one here actually makes the game a little harder, but I don't really like having... you can't max your guild perks if you don't have this to the maximum, okay? Like here, for example. So this is masochism. because it only makes the game more grindy, more slower in general, right? But some people like it. This is the hardest the game can be. This makes the monsters stronger. So this is what actually defines how hard the game is, okay? I like to play the game, especially for demonstration purposes, like this. Because this makes the progress fast, but still keeps the game hard, the hardest it can be. So I'm not a masochist, but I'm definitely also not a baby to play it like this. Okay? Not even like this I find that funny. My specific preference is this here, and that's how I'm gonna roll it. Okay? Yes. So, I will skip all of the tutorials and texts. You can read those while you are playing. Okay? Because this is just a guide, it's not a playthrough. Races. Okay. Especially when playing times 10. Okay? Wakin are generalists. Okay? They are good at almost anything in this regard here. I'm gonna talk about this in a second, because you can see this here. How it works. Wakin are very good for some things because they use a white magic skill right from the start. Okay. Perkin is one of the two strongest races in the game, specifically because of cat-like agility. Cat-like agility is possibly the strongest perk in the game, for a race perk, I mean. So when you try to roll agility, so especially like when you try to dodge, you have 2 tries. Like if you have 60% chance to dodge, well, it rolls 60. If you lose, it rolls again, and so it's very, very, very strong. He also levels dodge a lot faster. Let me explain this to you. These are all the skills the character has. Every race, Wakin, the human, is basic. Every race has things they're good or bad at. This defines how fast they will get better at those skills, okay? Which makes some classes way better at some things in the beginning of the game. Thing is, although a Perkin is bad at blocking or bad at using axes, that doesn't mean that with a little effort, a little time dedicated to actually training that skill, he can't do it, okay? Every class can train and should train most of those skills, okay? So these things here are only important to how fast you are going to progress through the early game, okay? And through the early game, let's ignore this for a second. Perkin has one of the best perks ever. Kitkin has a very good ability here, okay, to level up in general. And Kitkin levels up the fastest. Specifically because how it interacts with white magic and red magic and green magic, okay? So, for sure, Kitkin is the one that levels the fastest, yeah, especially because light armor here. So yeah, he is one, dodge is also 25, he levels the fastest of anyone. But he is very squishy, okay? He dies very easily, which is a problem when you are running this game at the strongest difficulty possible, right? So Perkin here is like probably the best, if not one of the 2 bests. For the early game, he is the strongest character. Kitkin is the one that levels the fastest. Wakin is just a generalist. Impkin is okay because he has decent leveling skills, and this Dirty Stab here is a very good skill for the early game, or yeah, especially for the early game, but he doesn't have this, so he's not as good as the Perkin. Woken is just like Waken, he's probably one of the worst. He has nothing that really stands out, you know? Because when you go here, well, Shellkin. Like, this is contending for the strongest race of the game with Perkin, for sure. Because both of his perks are insanely strong. Like, both of these perks are very, very good. This, for late game specifically, is possibly the strongest perk, ratio perk in the game. Okay? So, if you wanna try hard, you either pick a Shellkin or a Perkin. That's the best way to start, especially against a times 10 hard, like the hard mode in general, times 10 monster strength. Okay? Here, I'm gonna go... I always play the Shellkin. So here, I'm gonna go with the Perkin just to perform better at the very early game of the game. Okay? I'm not gonna change anything here. I'm just gonna... Oh no. Perk. I need Perkin. I'm gonna set this. Just gonna do this. Anything. Fauna. Okay. This is a everything. Yeah, okay. Never clicked this in my life. So, yeah, Perkin. Pa-pa-pa. 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 Anything goes. Skills, main stats, bonus stats. I will talk about this in a second. Okay? Anything here is okay. So, I will skip all tutorials, of course, because this is a guide. So, quests. This is how you progress the game. You will read by yourself. You have, like, if you ever find yourself stuck in the game, like, oh, the next dungeon isn't opening, nothing is happening in the story, well, do your quests, okay? Like, complete every single quest and the game will progress. This is the Adventurers Guild, is where you get quests and do some other things later. This is your own guild, okay? Not the Adventurers Guild, it's your guild. And it's the first thing you should level, okay? And also this is the storehouse. You need to up this too. The storehouse is where your items go. Equipment, you can see what your character is using here. And yeah, he's already in a party. Now this is where things start. First things first, this button shows you hotkeys to a lot of things in the game, okay? And what most people fail to realize is, and it's not their fault really, there is this button. This button, right here, shows you what every buff and debuff in the game actually does. And this is very important information that is nowhere else to be seen in this game. Okay, sometimes you can hover the status effects during the fights to see what they do. But here they are very well laid out, saying exactly what they are going to do. Okay, reading this is very important. But I'm gonna do a very basic run around here, okay? Cascade makes you cast your skills more times than normal. Confidence increases your damage. Double makes, like, prevents you from taking a hit that you cannot dodge. So it takes one hit for you. It's a clone of you, let's say. Okay, Focus increases your accuracy for you to hit more. Haste makes you cast faster your skills. This is the best one by far. other than one of the buffs. Hidden is kinda weird, because Hidden makes your next attack crit more, and it gives you dodge, but only while you don't attack. So I think Hidden is especially... Oh no, using abilities make you go out of Hidden, right? Yeah, any abilities. So using ability or taking damage cancels Hidden. So yeah, this doubles your... It's double. Yeah, so this doubles your agility, but it only lasts for a very short time, because even if you don't get hit, the moment you use any other skill, you are going to get out of Hidden, and then you have to cast it again. So it's a weird buff. It has some uses, but eh. Lucky is very good. It makes you have one more chance to dodge, just like the perk in Perk, and also to crit chance. Barrier regen and life regen are exactly what they say they do. They just regenerate your life and barrier. Rested is something that characters can't really get by themselves. It only comes from encounters and potions, but it makes you gain more XP. And Shield, I don't think this buff should be named Shield, really, because there are equipments that are shields, right? This should be like Bubble or, you know, like some kind of resistance. I don't know, maybe another name should be better for this. But Shield just increases your defenses by a percentage. Debuffs, very important stuff, okay? Burn not only burns the enemy, it also increases all magic damage they receive. It's very good. Dizzy is a stun. They just don't move. It's very good. Doom kills them after some time. It's weird. Poison only does damage and does very little damage right now. It's probably gonna be improved in the future, okay? And they probably gonna put the Toxic makes the opponent unable to heal. They will probably fuse Toxic with Poison in the future, just like Burn deals more damage, you know, like Poison is probably gonna apply Toxic as well, but it's an overhaul yet to happen. Toxic is very important currently, because, well, if an enemy heals too much, you can just stop them from healing entirely, aka vampires, or things similar to that, right? So Poison just deals damage, for now. Shed is Poison, but better, let's say. Because Shed does the same thing Burn does, but for physical, okay? It deals damage, it's bleeding, right? Or something like that, and it also increases the damage physical attacks deal to the target. Sleep is kinda bad, because sure, it puts the enemy to sleep, but the moment you hit them, they wake up. It's... yeah, like, eh. Slow is very, very, very good. It makes the opponents go slower. Vulnerable makes you deal more damage, period, so it's very, very good. Weak is a hella good, just as good as slow, because it reduces all the damage the enemy does. So, as you can see, buffs and debuffs are extremely overpowered in this game. Every single like setup should run buffs and debuffs, okay? So this is very important. All of this information is in this little button here. People almost never click this, okay? Let's go back. Oh yeah, clicking the right button of your mouse always goes back to a like previous place. If I go here and I click, I go back to my town, okay? So the moment you have a tavern, it comes with the game, an adventurers guild, your storehouse, and the guild house, the first thing you're gonna do is let's teach this. You have tables here that we will have, of course, more of these guys. Let me see here, I'm running a Perkin. This is a Waken, correct? I don't want a Waken because this is hard mode. But yeah, let me get one Impkin because it's not that bad. and I'm gonna get some other race the next time I come to the tavern, okay? So I have to come roster here, I have to equip him also to my party. And for now, they only have their standard equipment, okay? They have their standard equipment, their standard potions that they already come with, and their standard skills that we cannot change for now. Now, another very important thing. The status window, okay? You can either come here in stats, or you can also go from equipment to stats through these buttons here, okay? So stats. People are always asking about information that is already here, okay? So, these are all your skills. These are the experience points you have in those skills, okay? And you can keep leveling them. If you click any of them, they will tell you what they do and how to level them up. All of the information is here. Every single of these, not only... So for example, so if I level up dodge, I'm gonna get better at dodging, right? No, you will get agility. Agility doesn't only improve dodge, it also makes you better at avoiding traps, for example. Here is how you level up the thing. But what's important is, if I level up Axes, I will deal more damage with Axes. Yes, for sure you will. You will attack faster with Axes and you will deal more damage with Axes. The point is, it also gives melee attack speed. Speed bonus. This applies to any of the melee weapons. So every single skill not only gives you more damage and like mastery over that specific type of skill or weapon or magic, it also gives you something extra. So leveling all of them is important for any character. That's why I said that these numbers are not that important in the long run, because you will want to level up everything on any character in general to make them stronger. Your level goes up when your skills go up. And, of course, the amount of experience I need to level a skill gets higher and higher and higher the most the skill levels. So if my heavy armor is level 500, it's gonna take a very long time to level it to like 600. But if I stop leveling my heavy armor and I start leveling my light armor, well, it's gonna level up extremely fast up to 2 or 3 or 400, giving me magical defense, for example, and more levels in general. So train everything, okay? If I go to main stats as well, I can click them to see what they do. Some of them will tell you that they have a cap. Some of them have a cap, but they don't tell you that that will be changed in the future. The dev already told us that. So you have all of these and you have all of these. If you don't understand something, come here and read what they actually do. All of them tell you what they actually do, okay? That's very, very, very important. I'm not gonna explain every single one of them because that would take way too much time, and this video is definitely getting very long. Now, let's try our first dives on a dungeon, okay? I only have these two guys, right? Roster. Read this damn information. People are always asking this, and it's always visible here when making parties. The character to the left gets targeted the most by enemies. The character to the right gets targeted the least. So your tank goes here, and your little kitkin that is casting buffs but dies from a single hit by anything has to go here. Okay? Now, world map, first cave, remember, I am playing at 10 times monster strength, which means usually this cave would say here that I'd have a maybe 70% chance to win or something, or less of course, but like this recommended EP here is extremely high compared to my EP. Now, EP is expedition power, and this is very important, okay? If I go here to my equipment, I can click, where is it? Where is EP? If I unequip this, you see this button, you see this +9 here? It's gonna give me +9 expedition power. My expedition power, as shown here on the top and here on my character, every single thing in this game has an expedition power, okay? It's like your general battle power in a sense. It's not a very accurate number, okay? So this where best here that only considers expedition power is very good in the early game, but after, don't really pay attention to this button and don't really pay attention to EP in every single case. Sometimes it's better to get a specific effect than to get the skill or equipment that will give you more EP, because EP only cares about your stats, while there are items that do crazy effects that don't affect your stats. So their EP is low, although they are very good, okay? Have that in mind. Let's go back to the dungeon and actually start explaining some in-game stuff. This is already 27 minutes long. I'm gonna go up to 30 minutes at most, just showing a run, okay? Enter dungeon. I will put here to enter dungeon 5 times. What will happen is, especially at hard mode, okay? I am already very lucky because that happened, okay? Because this is hard mode, in my case here, okay? I will get destroyed by the initial enemies in a single hit, okay? Because they are way stronger than me. If you are playing in a normal mode, they are not gonna be that strong, you're gonna easily hit them, okay? As you level up, this goes faster in a dungeon. Here you can see what's actually happening in the fight. You can flee, you can change the things, you can see the quests, and you can see your equipment. So, as I fight, you can see that my characters, if I can find a fight, right? As I fight, you can see that my characters are gaining experience by doing everything that it says in that menu about the skills, right? So I fight again and again and again, and although I am losing and I'm not killing any enemies, I am still leveling up. So, thing is, for the very beginning of the game, this is very important. This is hard mode. I just opened a very good chest with a lot of items. I have to go out of the dungeon because now I have items to get stronger, okay? If I kept going in that dungeon and I died, I would lose a lot of those items. Now I can go to equipment and I can maybe click where best here if I wanted to, but also you should always consider the fact of what do you want to level here based on the equipments that you are going to choose. That's very important. For the very beginning of the game, you saw that the monsters, because I'm at a very hard, a considerably hard mode, the monsters attack way faster than me, right? I can't really get attacks with my weapons in, mostly, right? Which means that if I start by, for example, not using this katana here, and instead melee delay 3.3, 4.4. So if I use this, oh, this is a bronze sword, I want a dagger, 2.2. If I use this bronze dagger, it will attack faster, allowing me to get more hits in and level up more. And especially because this is a perkin, I actually want to level up my dagger, because as I've shown you, leveling up my dagger gives me agility, which is the stat he wants the most. Is katana a good weapon for him? Yes, definitely. Katana skills are very strong. But for the very beginning of this game, I would rather equip a dagger on him because it's a faster weapon. Okay? Another detail about the very early game that I'm gonna tell you guys is, and this will be the last thing I'm gonna tell you because this is already getting way too long. Here, you have all of the things you can train, right? The most important things to train here are block, dodge, all of the armors. Two-handing is only good for some situations, especially the very late game. Okay, white magic, daggers, clubs, lances, hand-to-hand, like melee attack in general, you know, they give a lot of good things. But, and this is the most important thing, axes make every single melee skill goes faster when you level up axes. White magic makes every single type of magic skill go faster when you level white magic. So, the most important skills in the game are axes and white magic, because they allow you to level up faster everything else after you get them to a decent amount. So if you wanna hasten, if you wanna get your progress, you know, as fast as possible, you definitely want to train Axe and White Magic as early as you possibly can. Right now, as you can see, I don't have an Axe available. Since I don't have an Axe available, and none of my characters have the possibility of using White Magic yet, I still need to keep grinding until I can. I'm gonna use daggers on them because it will train the fastest between the weapons I have available, and it will also train my agility. Now, another thing to mind is, remember I said I kind of want every single type of armor to level up because it's decent? Well, medium armor is better for the Perkin because it's gonna increase his agility, that will make him dodge more. But if I only focus on medium armor, there will come a point where it's gonna get slower to level up because it's gonna be high level already, while light armor and heavy armor will be very low. So what I definitely want to do is, for example, where this is a medium. I can, for example, wear just one piece of heavy equipment here, and I can possibly, let me just see something, unequip. You can just look, okay? This doesn't seem to increase his power, this increases because it's medium and it's good for him, but let's just suppose I'm gonna put a heavy grabs here, okay, heavy puts, and then I'm gonna equip, what's this? I'm gonna put on him a light armor for gloves and keep my medium armor here. What will happen is that now, when I enter, for this guy, let's just wear best, and then put the dagger on him again. Okay. Now, what happens now is... Let me get one more adventure. Perfect. Perkin or Shelkin. Ibuki looks gorgeous here, really, but... For this specific run, I'm gonna go with just Perkins. You can see here what they have. You know, sometimes they are a little different, but at level 1 they are always the same. I'm gonna get a third one. And I'm gonna equip him here. Also, notice what I'm doing here. Sorry. I will put my very good at dodging guys before, and my guy that deals more damage and is more squishy at the back. That this is very important for sure. Now, when I go here again, having seen how I used the equipments in this character, I will use my points from leveling up this dungeon here. Experience gain, for sure. Actually, sometimes it's better to just get like drop rate or encounter rate, some things in general, but here let's go with the basics. It's a very small amount, but it's some amount. Now, when I enter again, you will notice that this character is going to start... it's a mimic, there is nothing I can do. I got unlucky. Mimics are very, very, very strong in the beginning of the game. So, you will notice, he's already level 2, you will notice that this guy is gonna start leveling way faster now in general. Because, yeah, let's do like 10 times here. Because he's the first of the party, he's gonna level more than these two, because he will be taking more hits than them. So the guy that's here will probably always be higher level than the other ones. Now that he's leveling every single type of armor at the same time, although they do level slower because it has less pieces, since the amount of XP required to level increases with the level, by having every single type equipped, I will end up leveling my general level here way faster than the other two characters, even if they were being hit the same. You can see his bar is going up way faster because of that. And it's also giving him more levels, more stats, and it's a spread type of positive effect. What I mean is, and this is very important, okay? In this game, there are skills that ignore dodge, attacks from enemies. Some things you cannot dodge. Some things deal magic damage, some things deal physical damage. Some things cannot be blocked. Some things ignore defenses, so you have to dodge them. So there is no universally functional type of defense. Understand? If you only have physical defense, you are going to die to magical damage. If you only have magical, you're gonna die to physical defense. If you only have block, some skills ignore block, so you cannot block. If you only have agility, sometimes the skills damage cannot be dodged, so you have to have these. So this game is made in a way that you kind of need to have all types of defenses if you actually wanna go until the end without dying that much. Okay, it's actually quite impossible to finish the game without increasing a little bit of everything. Especially because, as I said, your level depends on leveling everything to get this as high as possible and get these as high as possible. Okay, this is already 40 freaking minutes of me blabbering about this game. So let's finish here. I should have told you in the beginning of the video to watch this at like times 1.5 or times 2 speed. But anyway, I think I've said every single possible thing that is important to know, or an actual beginner, a person just starting the game that really want to understand how everything works and what actually matters for your progress, okay? I'm not gonna do any more. You can discover everything by yourself if you just follow this basic, this 40 minutes of basic information I gave you. You are gonna develop yourself in this game extremely fast, and you will discover the story, the progress, and every single option that shows up here by yourself, really. I will then make a second video in my own save with a lot of spoilers showing all that I didn't show here. Okay? For now, that's it. See ya guys next time.